Welcome back to the podcast. And today we're diving into the mailbag. I'm going to answer some of your burning questions. Welcome to Feng Shui Living, the podcast designed for busy women who want to de-stress, live with intention, and create a home that truly supports their well-being. Each week, I'll bring you practical tips, insightful ideas, and simple strategies to enhance both your home and your life. Let's get started. Well, hello, and welcome to today's episode of Feng Shui Living podcast. I am your host, Lisa Morton, and I'm super thrilled to be here with you. Welcome any newbies, and welcome always to my longtime listeners. Before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask of you. I was hoping you might take 20 seconds out of your time, out of your day, and give a review of the podcast over on Apple. If you listen on Apple, I would be so grateful if you go to the main show page and then scroll up. There's a few most recent episodes, and then you'll see where you can give me a rating and review. And oh my gosh, it would mean so much. Thank you in advance for just popping over to do that. If you listen somewhere else or watch on YouTube, then any support, subscribes, follows, sharing with a friend is so important, and we appreciate that. Today's episode is all Q&A. It's been a while since we did some Q&A, and I got to thinking the other day, I'm like, it's summer and August, and before we know it, kids are going back to school, schedules are changing, and I still have yet to do a Q&A episode. So here we are. So I pulled three questions, and I think they're all pretty good. I'm excited to get into them. If you want to submit a question, there's a couple ways to do that. Number one is make sure you're getting my weekly newsletter. There's links in the show notes down below to sign up for that. You'll get bonus downloads, all kinds of goodies, freebies, discounts. Also, if you want to join and become a member of my private Facebook group called the Good Chi Club, we have a lot of fun, and it's a great place to submit your questions for the podcast. So we'll get into these three questions that I chose for today. I have a question from Lena, from Pamela, and from Sarah. We'll start with Lena's. She said, is it bad to have your bed facing the door? I'm so confused. So I get it. There can be some confusion. And this is also a common question that I get. And I understand it. It can be a little confusing. When we talk about your bed placement, we always want to ensure that your bed is in the command position. So this means solid wall behind and view of the entry door. We want to have the door off to one of the sides. But here's the thing. We want to avoid having the door directly opposite our feet. So say you're laying in bed all snuggled up, blankets pulled up around your chin and cozied in, and you would look down towards your toes. If the door is beyond that, then you are in what we call corpse position. The name isn't very good, and the positioning isn't very good for your body either. You see, what happens is there's so much energy rushing in directly towards your body. If you have this in your home, you're probably not sleeping very well. So make sure you reach out and schedule a free 15-minute discovery call. I can at least give you a few tips to get going, to make at least a few small shifts to find some better sleep. But it's interesting because I'm seeing this in a lot of new construction. Now I get it. There's a side of me, the designer in me, looks at it. If I see a model home and I see this layout, it looks grand. It looks regal. It looks so, you feel so like they're important, right? It has a presence when you do this, but it's too much. It's beautiful, but it's just too much. If you are struggling with sleep, look to see if you're in the corpse position. Again, we want to have the door, instead of opposite our feet, we want to have it off to one of the sides, okay? So, Lena, I hope I clarified that for you. Number 2, thank you to Pamela for submitting this question, because I've been here. Pamela said, I've just moved into a new home. There's so many projects, but I don't know where to start. What should I do? Been there several times when we moved, and it feels overwhelming and stressful. And it's interesting because while most of my work is all virtual, I do offer consultations to those in my community. And I've been doing a fair amount this summer, a fair amount of appointments very similar to this. In fact, I just worked with a doctor who moved here from out of state and is living in his childhood home. And there are so many projects in this home. It hasn't been updated since probably 1992. So you can just imagine all the floral wallpaper and it's everywhere. And the home, it's interesting because the home isn't him whatsoever. I'm like, we need to get you in this home. So what I love to do, and I think my clients find so valuable, is I can blend the Feng Shui energetic approach, but also my 20 years as an interior designer, right? So we made sense of what projects to take on, in what order, how much you're going to have to invest financially in a project, what's going to be an easier project, and how to make sense of it, right? It can feel so overwhelming. So that's something I feel very fulfilled personally to provide for my clients because I know that feeling. And so what I did with this gentleman is I told him the master bedroom really needed to be approached first. So often we struggle with sleep, right? But that's also our personal private space. And the space wasn't representing him at all. The flower wallpaper everywhere, the heavy draperies, it just didn't have any connection to him. So I'm like, okay, this is what we need to do first. It wasn't a huge investment, some paint, removal of wallpaper, take down the heavy draperies. I told him to just put up some simple store-bought panels for now. That's fine. Get some bedding. I sent him some different locations to go to for bedding, some websites to look at. And that's step one, right? Another big project is the kitchen, but he's still getting settled in the house. He's not ready for a big project. Kitchen is going to be a big, longer, messy project, right? So think about like how long you've been in the space. Think about how long you're going to be in the space. Think about what's important to you. If you're a foodie, maybe the kitchen is number one. If you have a family to feed, maybe that's number one. But for him, his priority was really getting connected to this home and getting the home to start representing and, and to really, really carry him forward, right? Moving forward in his life, because this is definitely a forward step. Moving here, it's a reset for him. So it's really interesting. The Feng Shui person in me, the Feng Shui consultant, would say, I'd say bedroom first, number one. The front door, number two, because that is the mouth of qi and that is so important. And number three, the kitchen, because that's where you nourish your body. So many people, if you have a bunch of kiddos running around and pets and everybody, family, this is very important. So default to bedroom, the front door, and the kitchen, and go from there. If you need help, again, free 15-minute discovery call over on my website. You can schedule it really quickly there using Calendly. All right, number three. Now, I took a bunch of notes here that I wanted to share with you about number three because I think it is a very, very good question, and I'm excited to approach it here. So Sarah wrote me and said, what if my partner doesn't believe in Feng Shui? Can I still do this work in my home? This is so good, and I actually get into some conversations about this pretty often. Here's the truth. You don't need everyone in your household to believe in Feng Shui to create powerful shifts in your life. This is about energy, right? They don't have to believe in it. They don't have to take part in it for it still to work and affect you, and by default also affect them. But I do have some things to keep in mind. Number one, start with your energy and your areas. I recommend you tend to the parts of the home where you spend most of your time. For example, your closet, your side of the bed. Maybe you have a home office. Focus on those areas first, right? This is your space. You can make it yours. Really focus on that and then go from there. Remember that when your energy starts to shift, it's going to affect everyone. It's going to grow. It's going to just expand to the rest of the spaces, even though you're just working on a few. Number 2 is lead with how it feels, not what Feng Shui says. It's so much easier to have a conversation with someone when you're discussing feelings, not Feng Shui rules. Because when you say, we need to move the couch because it's bad Feng Shui, someone might feel instantly opposed to it. However, if instead you say, I've noticed the energy feels a little off, I think it might feel a little more open and grounded if we shift the sofa over to this wall. Do you understand it? When you talk about feelings, it's so much easier for people to understand versus Feng Shui says we're supposed to do this. Number 3 is respect their resistance. Don't bulldoze. You might get excited. And I have a lot of clients that we start working together and, oh my gosh, this has been so fun. And oh my gosh, I want to work on this now. And I'm so excited. And I love that, right? But resistance sometimes comes from fear. Or maybe even a feeling of being judged. Maybe they're afraid the neighbors are going to come over and be like, she's crazy. She's moving things around. And maybe there's fear of being judged. It's just something interesting to think about. But we're talking about creating space, creating flow for everyone. So go gentle, go slow, and try to avoid bulldozing. Number 4, I want you to celebrate the small shifts because we know those small shifts, small adjustments make big, huge shift in our lives, right? It's wild what just a little space clearing can do, just a little rearrangement of the picture frames on the table. And they might see the change. They might notice. They might not. But they might not realize that it needs to shift or change. Remember, we're all different. Some of us are more sensitive to that energy than others. So be patient and celebrate those small shifts. Remember that Feng Shui isn't about controlling your environment. It's about working hand in hand with it. And this includes all the people in it as well. Working with them, not just trying to control them. Okay. So start where you are and do what you can and trust that energy it'll produce a ripple effect and ripple outward throughout the home. Okay. So those are my tips for working with a partner who says they don't believe in Feng Shui. Again, I'll review those real quick. Start with your energy in your areas. Define your specific areas. Maybe it's even a chair that you always love to curl up in and you want to apply a specific throw pillow or a throw across the back, a blanket to alter the energy. Something simple, right? Number 2, lead with how it feels, not what Feng Shui says or Feng Shui rules. Respect their resistance. Don't bulldoze. And number 4, celebrate those small shifts, small little adjustments. Hey guys, I totally understand if this is you because my husband is Mr. Business Analytical, numbers and charts and graphs. A lot of people ask me, how do you guys work? How does this work? Because he's one way and you're the other way. I mean, he's a Capricorn, if you know Capricorns, right? And here's what I say. He doesn't understand it. This is what he'd say as well. He doesn't understand it, but he knows our home feels really good. He knows when it doesn't feel good. He knows when I need to shift something. He's starting more and more to sense it. I don't even know if he realizes it. I'm just noticing little things he's saying, like, oh, it feels really good in here, So no matter what, he doesn't get it, but he knows His office at home feels really good. Our living room feels really good. Like, he will always say that he can tell. He doesn't understand, but he can tell. Anyway, so thank you, Sarah, for that question. Again, if you have a question you want to submit, pop over and sign up for the newsletter, and you can submit through there. Or you can also join the Good Chi Facebook group. I would love to have you there. All right, I will see you at our next episode. Special thanks to our sponsor, Elevated Living School of Holistic Design and Feng Shui. For more information, head over to the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time.